Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome to another Spinning in Vegas, Las Vegas tip related video, guys. Now, as you can see from the title, we got what are Las Vegas comps, how to get the best comps for 2019, and how to establish a relationship with a casino to get the best and the most comps during your stay. I got a lot of material here to go through, guys, based on my experience. And, based on information we've gotten from, various number of hosts. As most of you guys know, we frequent quite a bit of casinos in Las Vegas and have indeed established relationships with, just many different hosts, and was able to compile a nice list here, 20 tips on how to get the best comps, in addition to other information as well. Subscribe to the channel. If you like Las Vegas, you're going to love this channel. We have slot live plays, bonuses, Las Vegas tip videos, vlogs in Las Vegas. We have it all on this channel. So click the subscribe button. Also click the little bell right next to the subscribe. That way there you will get a notification every time I post a video, and you will be in the know every time I post. A lot of people get a lot of stuff from this channel. They get educated on Las Vegas, and they're able to better their stay with the information they get here. They don't just get information from me, they also get it from the comments section. We have a wonderful family here at the Spinning in Vegas channel, and we all learn from each other. So if you don't have, if you don't get what you need from my video, take a look at the comments section. Also, if you have anything to add to what I am doing here, just add something to the comment section below. So if I forgot something, or if you had an experience that I didn't mention, I want to hear about it, and I'm sure other people will want to hear about it as well. Now, guys, another thing too, usually when I do these tip videos, Las Vegas type, suggestion videos, I have videos floating in the background, pictures and stuff like that. It really won't happen in this video because of the subject matter, obviously, but you're going to want to tune into this video because there's a lot of great information to come. So, what are comps? Well, comps are basically items and services that are given out by the casinos to encourage you to gamble more money. What they're going to do is reward you based on the gambling that you've done, how long you've gambled, how much money you spent, stuff like that. The quality of the comps are going to pretty well, put it this way, the more you play, the longer you play, will determine the quality. So it's funny because I've visited a lot of different properties, played various levels at different properties. Some properties I went to, I barely played at all, and when I did play, I didn't do max bet, like stuff like that, just to kind of get an idea of what you would get in terms of comps. And I got 5 levels of comps here, guys, that I wrote down here. I split them into 5 different levels. So level 1 comp, everybody who gambles gets comped. And a lot of people will be like, what? No, that's not true. Not everybody who gambles gets comped. That's not true at all. Level 1 comp would be the free alcohol and beverages you get as long as you're sitting at a slot machine. Now, I know some casinos are doing away with that now, and you have to bet a certain amount of money to get the free drink. But there are casinos out there that do it, so just go to those casinos if you want the basic comp. So yes, that is a complimentary item. So if you're sitting at a slot machine and you're betting 1 line, 1 penny, you're betting 1 cent a spin, and a drink server is going to come over and ask you if you want a free drink. And just say yes. You don't even you're not obligated to tip either. Don't count on that tip or that service coming back around. But you can move from machine to machine, because you got to remember that these drink servers, one server has a different part of the casino, and it's a small part of the casino, to be honest. So there's usually around a dozen drink servers on the casino floor. So if you know the areas, you can technically go to those 12 different areas, get 12 beer for 12 cents. No joke, because a lot of these casinos don't monitor the play. The drink servers don't care. They see you sitting on a machine, you don't even have to be playing. We were at the Luxor on our last trip, and we were just sitting down, getting the weight off of our feet, trying to relax, and a girl came over and offered us free drinks. So there you go. That is a level 1 entry-level complimentary item, is the free drinks. So that would be level 1. Level 2 would be stuff like free self-parking, lounge access, possible nightclub access, free basic meals, probably like a free breakfast or something like that, discounted rooms, possible resort fee comp, or maybe they'll shave a little bit off the resort fee, and maybe a small free play amount, $25 or something like that. A level 2 would be someone who does visit Vegas but really doesn't spend much money in the machines. Like, you're talking an overall budget of probably maybe $100 or so, but you can go pretty far with $100 if you get lucky. If you put $100 in a machine and you're doing, let's say, 50 cents a spin, and you hit a couple bonus rounds that are worth maybe $20, $30, you're running a little bit of coin in the machine over your stay, and you may get comps for that. Level 3, free hotel rooms, free valet parking, the free meals, lounge access, nightclub access, offers from partner properties, comp resort fees, mid-range free play amount. You're talking like $100 to $250, right around there. Your average gambler would indeed fall into that level 3, based on the research that I have done. You're going to want to have a budget of right around $500 to get into level 3, maybe even a little more, maybe pushing up to $1,000, maybe $1,500, depends on your luck. Again, if you hit a really nice bonus and it ups your bankroll and stretches out that gambling budget, you could really get into a much bigger level. It really can come down to luck a lot of times for a lot of people, because if you're going through your bankroll really fast, taking heavy losses, you're not going to accumulate that coin in, and your comps aren't going to be as good. But we'll get into more of that later, because we're going to talk about the formula and stuff like that. So yeah, most people do fit into level 3. Level 4, this is where we fall in. So me, my wife, as players, fall into level 4, which is going to be a free hotel room, but nicer rooms. They're going to comp you the suites, the villas. If they're really during slow times, you might even get some sort of a penthouse or a really good deal on a penthouse. Penthouses are like the top floors, big rooms. You might not get those comped, but they could be like 75% off, and as an upfront cost, and it would be worth it to pay the extra 25%. You can get pool cabanas comped, full RFB, which is room, food, beverage. So your meals are comped and all that stuff. Lounge and nightclub access, usually front of the line. So if there's a big long line, you get into the VIP line, you go right through, no issues there. Your parking, including valet, will also be comped. No resort fees, possibly more than one room being booked. We've had offers from casinos where we could book two rooms at the same time. If you're bringing friends, your play will allow them to comp you more than one room. And I think that's great, being able to do more than one room, because with us as a family, sometimes we'll travel with the kids, my mother. Having the two rooms allows for, just more space for us, and that is fantastic. Free transportation to and from the airport, to the casino. So we've had free limo rides from McCarran International Casino or Airport to Cosmopolitan. We've had that done. We've also had it done at Palms. We've had it done at the D. We've had it done at Palazzo, and we've had it done at most recently Planet Hollywood. So that again is a cost that you don't have to worry about if it's comped. They're also going to give you free shows and large free play amounts in level 4 as well. So we've gotten free shows from various casinos, and indeed took advantage of those, and that kind of stretches out the budget as well. Because if you get a lot more money for gambling because you're going to save on the shows, which is fantastic. And like I said, large free play amount. When we just returned to Cosmopolitan, they made mistakes obviously, and they wanted to rectify them, but they had upped their free play amount. We got $1,500. No, that was I have to look my. I think between $1,500 and $2,500 in free play. Normally, back in 2017, we were getting free play offers right around $1,200 from the Cosmopolitan. Other properties are offering us $1,000 in free play. See, these are higher free play amounts based on that level. Level 5 comps are the high rollers. These guys are that 1% of the market, of gamblers who go into a casino and wager anywhere between $5,000 to $1 million on a single roll of the dice or hand of blackjack. These guys just get pretty well anything they want. You're talking $25,000 bottles of wine, $5,000 spoonfuls of beluga caviar. They get what they want. They even get their free airfare and a private jet. So a lot of casinos will say, we'll pick you up in our private jet, we'll bring you right here, we'll put you in a private room, have your own table, stuff like that. They give them golf packages, free limo rides, obviously. Up to $250,000 in upfront play. No joke. So they'll say, we'll give you $250,000 in upfront money. You could, you might get lucky. You might just say, okay, I'll put $250,000 on black on the roulette table. Let's say, if they happen to win it, they got $500,000 in their pocket. But the casino doesn't mind doing that because, again, the longer they play, the more they lose. And it's good business for the casinos. No high roller goes there, takes the $250,000, and if they win, gets out of there. It's just not what they do. They get vacation packages, cruises, golf packages, credit services, which is great for them. Also get loss rebates. So if they lose $5 million, the casino will say, well, you only have to pay us $3.5 million. They're still making a ton of money. So that would be level 5. And that's something, like I said, 99% of players will not get to that tier. I will never get to that tier. I just don't gamble that much. The most I'll play on a table game is $500 a hand on roulette. I've done that many, many times. And believe it or not, I last longer doing that than I do on the slots. So over the long run, of even doing $500 on either red or black, my budget will last longer doing that than if I was going to go do, let's say, max bet $5 on a slot machine, penny slots. I know you're probably calling me crazy because $500 a spin is a lot. But if I do that, I usually go to the roulette table with, a $3,500 budget. And yes, I may very well lose every single time and lose my money fast, but it's never happened. I'm usually up and down for hours, it seems, and usually cash out even at the end. I don't play till I lose. I play to get those comps because when a pit boss sees that you're spending $500 every single spin, they note it right away and they start writing it down. Okay, this guy's doing $500 a spin. He's been sitting here for 90 minutes. This guy deserves some hella comps. And it's a great way to get those comps while stretching out that gambling. But I know it seems like a lot up front, but compared that to the $5 I spend on the slots, the roulette's actually going to be the better option. I know it sounds crazy, but it really is. How are comps calculated? Now, this can vary from casino to casino. Sometimes they use different formulas. However, every formula usually works out to the same exact number in the end. If it may be off a few percentage points. And again, is it a strip casino? Is it a locals casino? That will all play a part in that formula. But it comes down to a theoretical loss formula. What do the casinos expect you to lose over your stay? So what they have here is the house advantage times your total wager, so your coin in amount. So I just got an example here. If you stay at a casino for 3 days and you run in $50,000 in coin in, now that's not $50,000 loss, that's $50,000 coin in. I've hit that amount and surpassed it in a day easily with $1,000 budget. Okay, so if you stay for 3 days, run in $50,000 coin in, and you pay penny slots with a payback percentage of, let's say, 85%. Usually they run 85 to 88, the penny slots. We're just going to do 85% as an example. So let's say 85% with the $50,000 of coin in, your theoretical loss would be $7,500, because remember, your payback percentage is 85%, and the casino advantage there is 15%. So 15% of your $50,000 coin in is $7,500 theoretical loss. That's what the casinos can expect you to lose over your 3-day stay with that coin in amount. They also look at how long you play per day. That's also sometimes another formula that they use. But again, the numbers will be the same in the end. So what you want to do is take your theoretical loss, split it amongst your 3 days that you're there, and you get a theoretical loss of $2,500 a day. Now, casinos will offer comps based on a percentage of that daily theoretical loss. So at $2,500 a day, casinos will pay, well, locals casinos actually pay a smaller percentage than the strip casinos, because the strip casinos can afford to do more. So with the locals casinos, you can expect a 10 to 20% return on a player's theoretical loss in comps. A strip casino will offer anywhere between 20 and 40% of your theoretical loss back in comps. So at your $2,500 a day theoretical loss at a locals casino, you're looking at the bottom, this is based on the 20 to 40%, you're looking at $250 a day in comps on a locals casino based on that $2,500 a day theoretical loss. You got to remember that. Actually, that at 20%, that's the higher end of the locals. I said 10 to 20%. Now, on the strip casinos, in the strip casinos, at 20 to 40% return on theoretical loss, at 20%, it's $500 a day. So that gives you an idea of how they comp you. So if your theoretical loss is at $2,500 a day, minimum is $500 a day in comps. Take your room into consideration. How much is your room? Is your room $200 a night? If so, you got $300 left. Resort fee, $40. You got $260 left. Food every day, $150. You see where I'm going. You get $100 left. What else can you do with that money? So that's what they do. They'll do it to throw it in free play. What are they going to do with the rest of that money? So that is how they base that comp system. Now these, again, are based on 10 to 20% for locals, 20 to 40% for strip. Based on our experience at casinos, we're getting right around 30 to 35% back in comps based on the math and the numbers that I have done. So 35%, and that's on the strip. Now at the D, we were actually 29%, which is higher than the 10 to 20% that I stated here, but we have an established relationship with a host, and when we asked to get more comps, they accommodated that request. So if we didn't ask, it would probably be a little bit lower than 29%. But again, the D is not a locals casino. The D is a downtown casino. Locals casinos would be the ones on Boulder Highway, stuff like that. Now, a lot of people will be like, I think that's bullshit because I get comp for 7 days at a Boulder casino, and you're only getting comp, 5 nights at Cosmo. And I will say, you're absolutely correct. You do get the 7 nights and I only get the 5. However, my nightly rate is $500 a night. Your nightly rate is $150. So in terms of value, I'm getting more. So there's that argument to be made. I do know that it seems, because when we get offers from the D, we get 7 days upfront comped, and that seems, and then we get an offer from, let's say, a place like Palazzo where it's 3 days. So you get 3 days comped, D's 1 week. The 3 nights at Palazzo are more than the ones at the D. So you have to look in terms of value and not just numbers. It has to make sense that way, right? So that's the formula. It's called theoretical loss, and they give you a percentage of that theoretical loss. Ask a host if you are not, well versed on the formula that they use. They will tell you, but we'll look at more of this now with the top 20 tips. I know we're already quite a bit in here. I'm trying to cram as much information in this video so you guys can get the most out of your comps in Las Vegas. And trust me, you're going to want to stay tuned. So yes, I got a list of 20 here, and the best 20 that I could come up with. And here we go. Number 1, get a player's card right away. The casino cannot comp you if they can't track your play. So if you're just throwing money in a slot machine and not using a player's card, how on earth are they supposed to know what you're gambling? So you need to get that rewards card, track your play. The only exception to this would be high rollers and whales. The casino is not going to give them a player's card. They watch them. They see how much money they spend, and that's it. Everybody else needs a player's card, okay? So you want to get that player's card. And here's a crazy fun fact. My mother, who came to Vegas with us, got a player's card at M Life, never spent a dime, and she's getting discounted room rates. Actually, she got free rooms at certain properties like Luxor, New York. The woman never spent a dime of her own money in a slot machine at an M Life property and got, I remember it on a few occasions. It doesn't happen often. Since 2017, I think it's happened twice, but it happened just for getting the player's card. So you want to get that player's card. That's number 1 right away. Most important thing is getting the player's card and using it every time you put it in the machine. Number 2, get in touch with a casino host. So before you even put that player's card in a machine, go and talk to these hosts. They are there for a reason, all right? Especially if you have a budget of $500 or more, you might want to get in touch with a host, and then they'll look at your play a little more carefully. You know, they'll watch your play. A lot of times when you don't get in touch with a host, you're relying on the system to alert a host of your play, which can take time. A lot of times it can take so long that you're home by the time, you know, the casino host even gets to look at your file. And, you know, you would have lost out on comps. So you can talk with the host right away. They are there to accommodate you. They're not there to alienate you. They want you to come and see them. They want you to walk into that high limit area and say, I'd like to speak to a host regarding comps. Ask them questions. What can I expect in freebies for this amount of play? This is my budget. What can I expect? Sometimes it might not be much, but you know what? You'll miss 100% of the shots you never take. And what's the worst they can say? No. All right, so get in touch with the host before you even start playing anywhere in any casino. 3, always ask for comps before checking out. Again, the worst they can say is no. And when I say before checkout, I don't mean at checkout. A day before checkout. 6 hours before checkout. Because if you go and ask for the comps and they say, no, we can't quite comp tonight's room, we can comp the other 2 nights, but we can't do tonight. Then you could say, well, how much more play is it going to take for me to comp tonight? Because if the third night is an extra 150 and I only got to do an extra $75 in coin in, well, then you know that it's cheaper to go back to the goddamn slot machine and spend $75 in coin in to get that third night free. And they have to tell you. They will tell you. Like I said, it's based on a formula, and they will absolutely tell you, where you stand in the scheme of things. So always ask a day. Minimum 6 hours before checkout. You want to make sure and give yourself a good amount of time to do additional play. You don't want to wait till checkout time. You want to do it, like I said, a day, preferably 6 hours minimum, and then that way there you have time to do stuff. Because you got to remember that checking out can be a lengthy process, and packing up all your stuff. You just want to give yourself some time. 4, be nice. We seen a guy at the Golden Nugget in 2017. We don't know who he was. We were just walking through the lobby, and he was yelling because he didn't get his resort fees comped. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, that's awfully counterproductive. If I was trying to get money shaved off my bill, I would try to be as nice as possible. No, he was yelling, he was screaming, even name calling at one point. And I was like, wow. Obviously, he didn't have a host because he'd be asking the host for those comps, but he was just there yelling. And again, there's people behind him waiting and getting everybody upset. And be nice, be courteous, and friendly people will always get more in the end. If you're hard to work with, even a host might not even want to deal with you. Even if the comps aren't going your way, be nice anyway. I know it might be tough, especially if you're taking heavy losses. But just know that if you're nice, the host isn't going to mind comping you up front better for a future trip. So just be nice, okay? It costs nothing to be nice to somebody, and I cannot stress that enough. 5, play at one property and stick to that property. Now, there are exceptions that you could argue that if you have an M Life card, you could play at a various amount of properties and rack points up on the same card, which is true. So if you get, let's say, an M Life card, you can play Bellagio, Mirage, MGM Grand, Luxor, New York, Mandalay Bay. You know what I mean? Caesars, you have what? Caesars in Las Vegas, you have Flamingo, you have Planet Hollywood. It's the same card. You get the boarding pass there for like the Station, Boulder casinos and stuff like that. I'm still going to argue that you should still play at one property. Reason being, slot host. So yes, you will accumulate all the points on an M Life card and you'll get random generic M Life offers, right? But if you have a host relationship, a person that you're making a connection with, they have a little white piece of paper sometimes, and they'll say 2 free buffets. They'll rip it and they'll give it to you and bring it to the restaurant, and that's a comp apart from the comps. Do you understand what I mean? That you normally wouldn't get just with a generic email offer or stuff like that. So, and that indeed happened to us. We've had hosts write us, it's a little official thing with their signature, and it gives us 2 free meals somewhere apart from, you know, what you would normally get from the property. And that wouldn't happen if you're jumping through all these different casinos. Unless you have an astronomical budget and you have a casino host at all these different properties that you can, you know, establish a relationship with, I would still argue in the end that you're spending less per property, and rather than have, you know, a smaller relationship with 6 different hosts, I'd rather have one monstrous relationship with one host and get even better comps. So keep your play at one property and just accumulate on that same card. That way there, a host will look and say, wow, he's spending a lot of money here, rather than if you were to have 10 different players card and jump, zigzag the strip, and just, instead of having little amounts of play at a lot of properties, having, wow, a lot of play at one property. You want to make sure to keep your play at the same property, and you'll just get more in the end for that. Number 6, do your homework on the comp system at your property. A lot of properties offer different comp systems. This is true. Again, look at value rather than numbers. I'm sure if you got an email that said you got 2 free weeks at Casino Royale on the Strip, or if you had an email that said you got 3 free nights at the Cosmopolitan, you know, Bellagio, Terrace View, what would you do? Wow, I get to spend 2 free weeks in Vegas or 3 free nights in Vegas. Like, what would I do? Well, I would certainly take Cosmopolitan, because Casino Royale, if you so much as spend $10 in a machine there, you get a free room. You know what I mean? The rooms are terrible. That's just the way it is. You want to look at value rather than numbers. So these comp systems are going to give you points based on play. You want to look at any promotions. So sometimes they'll be like, between 4 and 6 o'clock, get double the points on all Buffalo machines, or Aristocrat titles, or different stuff like that. Head to that part of the casino, get your point play. Look at the comp system, the reward, the tiers. So you have like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, so on and so forth. Look at what you get per tier. And just because you're the final tier doesn't mean you're a whale. People who do 50 cents a spin but play often eventually do get there. You know, the tier means almost nothing in terms of upfront comps and what they comp you at, you know, the given time. That's where it makes sense to look at this system and say, is it worth my time to get all the way to the end? You know, is it much of a difference from level 3? So you want to pay attention to those. And again, talk to a slot host if you're confused on the system, and they'll be more than happy to, you know, teach you how it works. Number 7, if you're playing table games, always present your card to the dealer or the pit boss. Again, you want to track that play, and they will track that play. They will estimate your average bet, you know, how much money you're risking an hour, stuff like that. It all goes into that same basic formula. And you can't do it if you don't get the player's card. And that brings me to my next point at number 8. If you play at a table game with a budget of $1,000, buy in for the entire $1,000. Don't do it $100 at a time. That's not going to do a damn thing for you. You're going to want to buy in, put $1,000 on the table. The pit boss is going to look at that and say, whoa, okay, this guy's serious. He's going to note it right away, and he's going to write it down, and he's going to say, this guy needs comps. If he sees $100 on the table, he will not do that. Buy in for the full $1,000 and do it that way. Don't do it. Don't split it up. The more they see, the more they're going to offer you. That's just the way it goes. They love seeing big dollars hit the table, and make sure you do that. So if you're going in with a budget, throw it all down. Because even if you throw it all down, you can just cash it out later and put it back in your pocket. You just want to show them that you're a serious guy. This is a guy to watch out for. Let's throw this guy some comps up front. We know he's got dollars in his pocket that he's willing to spend and risk. So do it that way. Number 9, make sure that goddamn player's card is registered in the slot machine before hitting the spin button. I've looked back on so many slot machine live plays in my videos where the card is in the machine but is not registered in the machine. So what I mean by that is sometimes you put a slot machine or a player's card in a slot machine and it'll flash red. So there's an error there. The machine not working correctly. It didn't quite get your card info. So sometimes you have to take it out, put it back in to get it to turn green, and it'll say, welcome, here's your point balance, blah, blah, blah. Make sure that's green and working before starting to hit the spin. Even when I went live in Vegas during our most recent trip, there was a few times where people were like, dude, your card is not registered in the machine. And I'm like, oh shit. And then that adds up after a while. If you're there for 5 days and that happens, maybe 2 or 3 times, because it happens a lot. Almost every slot machine, you put your card in, you got to take it out and put it back in. And sometimes you put it back in and it registers, and then after 30 seconds, it unregisters for whatever reason. So you want to make sure it's in, it's working, and keep your eye on it, because again, if it's not registered, they're not going to track your play. And they're not going to take your word when you tell them, well, look, 5 machines I went in and the friggin' card wasn't working. They don't play that game. So you have to make sure that card is in, it's working, and it stays working, all right? I know it's a little bit annoying and it's hard to keep track of, especially when you're in the heat of the moment, when you get a bonus round, or, you're spinning and having fun, but you need to keep an eye on that, okay? Number 10, develop a personal relationship with a host. When we first started going to Vegas, it was all about the Cosmopolitan. We have a host over there. She's a great gal, and even to this day, I can't say anything bad about her. She is a fantastic person. And, we made it a point to, when we went to this property, to take her to lunch, to have that date with her, and to, ask her how life is, talk, friendship. Take the business hat off and talk to the person. Get that connection with them. Establish that rapport with the person, because they're just going to be more, upfront with you, because I'm an upfront person, and I'd like to tell my hosts, don't beat around the bush with me. I like to know what's going on. And, when you are friends first, you're going to get more in the end, trust me. And there's going to be no bullshit. There's going to be no hassles. You know exactly how things are done. They're not there, like I said, to alienate you. They're there to accommodate you, especially if you have a friendly, working friendship first relationship with these people. So I know it might sound weird. You're losing money taking them out to dinner. At least offer it. Maybe they'll, decline it and say, no, you don't got to do that. Try to make it a point to say, no, I want to. I want to, They just see that you are a kind and generous person, and you'll get more in the end. And the friendlier you are with these people, and the more you know about them, the more you feel you can ask them. You know what I mean? And try to get a little bit more. So it always is a great idea to get that personal relationship going with the host. Number 11, take advantage of direct mail offers when booking. So a lot of time, and this happens often. The D is a great example. I remember getting something in the mail from the D, and then the very next day getting something else. It was crazy. So I remember it just like it was yesterday. The first offer was for 5 nights and free table play and free slot play. And the very next day, it was during the same time period, a free slot tournament and extra free play on top of the other offer. What did I do? I booked it. I booked the offer, and I was like, can I combine these offers? Absolutely. As long as you got them, you can combine them. So I got even extra on top of what I was normally got up front for my host, in addition to what these two gave me. So I went to the D with an astronomical amount of free play, table game free play, free nights, free room and beverage, free tournament. It was fantastic. Had such a great time. So you want to book those offers. They're there for a reason, okay? And those are upfront. So if they say, here's your mail offer for, this, sometimes the casinos do it bi-monthly. Some people do it every 3 months, every 4 months. Some do it monthly. Some do it every week. Some it's sporadically. You'll get, like I said, with the D, I got one day, and the next day I had something else come to the door. These are upfront. So you don't even have to spend any of your own money. That's just, hey, this is for you. You get this free. You don't even have to come here and play. You can, 3 free nights. Wow, hey, it's 3 free nights, and I don't even have to spend any money. I don't have to talk to a host. It's free. So take advantage of those mail offers, okay? It's the best comps going because it requires you to do absolutely nothing. A good example would be my mother, like I said earlier at MLife. Never spent 1 red cent in a slot machine, and I remember her getting free nights at Luxor and New York, New York. So not going to be the best rooms, but it's still a free room nonetheless. Number 12, it's better to use a comp as you go or a pre-comp system rather than, well, we'll tally it all up and comp you at the end. That's a system I don't like. And there's a couple reasons why I don't like that. One is I like to know where I stand in my trip. Because if I know I'm getting, because I know the formula, and I know, okay, well, this is my coin in amount, I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough at the end based on how many losses I'm taking. So I like to comp as I go. So I'll go downstairs, talk to the host. I want this comp right now, the first 2 nights. We have enough? Yes. Okay, so that's guaranteed. We're working on the 3rd and 4th night now. We're working on the food. We're working, you know what I mean? Comp as you go, or pre-comps, like I said, those offers up front. So like I said, Cosmo will offer us, anywhere between $1,200 and $1,500 in free play. That's just for calling and booking. 3 free nights. But if we stay 7, what about those other 4 nights? So it's like a comp as you go. I like to ask as I go, because once I know I've hit enough to comp everything, I stop playing. What's the use of continuing when I got the whole stay comped, right? So a comp as you go system is the best way to go. Checkout comps, kind of almost, it's not a good feeling. It almost feels like you're begging at the end of your stay, like, did I do enough to get comped? Can I get my comps, please? And it makes you feel terrible, and it's not a system that you should rely on. Case in point, our 3rd trip to Cosmopolitan, when we thought everything was going to be comped, we get to checkout, and almost nothing was comped, even though we played an astronomical amount of money. We lost a lot of money that trip too, and it was terrible. Do the comp as you go. Make sure you're getting those comps as you stay, and trust me, save yourself the headache. Oh my goodness, if I could ever go back in time. So yeah, comp as you go, or pre-comps, obviously. And you want to make sure that the pre-comps are the fine print, because a lot of times the fine print, you must have the same rate of play to get these comps. You want to call the casino and say, no, are these comps up front just to coming in the door? A lot of times they will do it, but every once in a while you might get a casino that's harder to work with, and they'll say, well, you didn't play this trip, we're going to go back on those comps and charge you for them. A lot of times if you make a fuss, they'll do it, but again, you just want to save yourself that headache. 13, join the free slot tournaments. This is a no-brainer. So if you see a sign or any type of promotion in the casino that says slot tournament at 2 o'clock, come get your player's card and join. A lot of times people think those tournaments cost money. They don't cost money at all. As long as you have a player's card, you are eligible to join those tournaments. Every once in a while, they will have tiered tournaments. It's very, very rare. They do not like alienating players like that. They want to make sure everybody's involved in those slot tournaments. Basically, you're sitting on a slot machine for free. You're hitting the spin button as fast as you can. And if I know we've had slot tournaments at Palazzo, at the D, where there was another place we went to a tournament too. I can't remember where it was. I really can't. But at the Palazzo, both me and my wife won. I think I won $75 in free play and she won $50. So that's $125 in free play. Depending on your bet level, that could last you quite a while. And let's say if you do get $100 in free play, and you hit a bonus round that's worth $150, $200, you cash that out, and then you use that $200 to stretch your budget even further to accumulate even more comps. So join those slot tournaments. They are free. Number 14, play slot machines that are low volatility and offer time on machine. So I briefly discussed this in a video, Las Vegas Journey video, about a week ago. I can't remember which episode it was. About Monopoly. There's a game that we're playing, Monopoly Millionaire, I believe it was called. And this Monopoly Millionaire game was a game that we sat down on for 45 minutes with $100 and just racked in, I think it was like $2,500 in coin in on that one machine. And I think I cashed out even. It was like when I'd hit a bonus or a feature, it was $15 at a max bet of I can't remember what the max bet was on that machine. I think it was around $4. The wins were lower. They happened more often. The machine didn't tend to take your money very quickly. And that's a dream machine for the people looking just for comps. So if you're looking to run as much as you possibly can through a machine without taking heavy losses to get those comps, look for the machines that are low volatility. There are lists on the internet that will show you machines that are lower volatility. Monopoly Millionaire is indeed one of those games. Higher volatility games are usually the ones with the higher max bets, $7.50, $10, stuff like that. You want to stay away from that, obviously. But stick to the lower volatility machines. And that'll bring us to my next point. Number 15, play non-licensed games. Usually the slot machines with the flat tops are the best. You see games like The Walking, and I'm a sucker for them. I'm sitting here telling you not to play them, and I play them all the time. The Walking Dead, Sons of Anarchy, Willy Wonka, Wheel of Fortune. These are licensed machines. They have to pay a company money just up front to make the slot machine to begin with. That's more overhead for the these slot machine makers, and that gets passed down right to the very end user, which is me and you who are hitting the spin button. So I can't say I've ever seen a licensed slot machine in Vegas that had a payback percentage of 90% or better. Usually they're penny slots. Sometimes you can switch the denom, but even if you do, it never will surpass that 90. It's usually between 85 and 88. And the non-licensed machine, the flat tops are going to be better and just offer you better payback percentages in the end. And again, it's all about that low volatility to get more time on machine. And again, that brings me to my next point. Higher denom machines offer better payback. So again, if you see a penny machine at max bet, or actually no, if you see a multi-denom machine, so if you see a game where you can change the denomination, I would switch it from 1 penny to, let's say, 10 cents. Because at the 1 cent denomination, you're at 85%, whereas at 10 cent, you're at 92. So there's a difference there of about 7%. Usually between 1 cent and 10 cent, it'll be a minimum 5%. So let's say at 1 cent denom, your max bet is $5. But if you switch it to 10 cent denom and the minimum bet is $5. So you're betting the exact same amount of money, but the 10 cent denom is offering you a higher payback percentage, which in the end is more time on machine because you're likely to get more out of the machine, okay? So go for the higher denom machines and just be smarter that way. Number 17, if you hit a large jackpot, ask for a bigger comp right away. A lot of people, and it's funny because I have talked with people about this before. They'll post on my channel that they won big jackpots of 10,000 or more. And I was like, did you ask for like a really nice room afterwards? And they're like, hell no, I get the hell out of there. They're not going to want to see me. And I'm like, au contraire. No. If you hit a jackpot of 10,000 or more, that casino is dying to get that money back, and they're going to comp up front right away if you ask for it. So you go to a host and be like, I just won $15,000, a grand jackpot on this machine. Oh my God. They're going to say, wow. Well, would you like a bigger room? And they're going to do it. Trust me, they're going to do it. And if they don't, ask them and they're going to do it. Because they want you to stay longer because they know you have a bigger budget now and they're going to get some of that money back. They know they're not going to get it all back, but they do know that they're going to get absolutely jack shit back if you leave. So they want you to stay and they're going to do whatever they can to keep you on the property. So if you hit those big jackpots, stay and ask for a bigger room. They'll give you a suite, they'll give you a villa, a penthouse, whatever. They want their money back. And they know they can't get it back if you leave or if you stop playing. They want to encourage you to gamble more. And they figure that if they could give you more, you're going to spend your dollars there rather than elsewhere. So if you hit the big jackpots, first thing you should do is go straight to a casino host and ask for a nice comp. Trust me, they'll be more than happy. Tell them I sent you. All right? All right. Number 18. The more you play, the longer you play, the better the comps. But also the more your theoretical loss will be. Keep that in mind. But you want to make sure that when you're sitting down, don't gamble sporadically. So don't gamble on your way to and from. Like, you want to make sure and have an itinerary done beforehand. That'll say, well, we wake up in the morning, we an hour for breakfast, and then we have 3 hours for slot play. Always sit down for a long time and do your slot play. Rather than, oh, okay, well, we're going to go to this restaurant. We'll just hit a couple machines before we go there, have dinner, hit a machine or two as we go back up to the room. We want to go shopping. We'll put a couple dollars in a slot machine as we're leaving the property. That's not what they want to see. They want to see that you're sitting down for hours and spending money because in the end, it's all about that theoretical loss, right, and that formula. So budget a couple hours. You might lose your money entirely before the few hours, but at least you tried to do it the right way. And so you want to do it that way. Always allot your time for the slot play or the gambling, whether it be table games or the machines, and do it that way. They don't like that sporadic shit, because when they see that, they're going to be like, well, he's not very reliable for the upfront comps, because we could upfront comp this guy in the future and he might not play at all or play very little sporadically, right? So always sit down for longer amounts of time and play, even if it means lowering your bet a little bit. Not much, just a little bit. If you're normally betting $3, maybe bet $2, and go that way. All right. And number 19, play when the casino is less busy for the slot machines. Play the table games when it's really busy. Okay. And I know they're kind of like working against each other there, but it's absolutely true. So when the casino is not very busy, play the slots, because the casino's not taking in very much money, and their cash cows are the slot machines. So your comps are going to be better in the off season. So the winter months, when the casino is less busy, if you go there, and that is absolutely true, we've got better offers after we played in February. We noticed that as soon as we got back home from our visit in February, the comps were 50% better. So that means that we're getting more for our same amount of play. Okay, so if you want to go in the off season when the casinos are less busy, play the slot machines. Now, table games. When it's really busy, hit the table games. Why? Because you threw your $1,000 down on the table. He saw that. But the more busy it is, the more time it takes for, the roulette wheel to turn, or the dealers to deal out to everybody. It's just, you're sitting for a longer amount of time. And the longer you're sitting, it's that time gambling that they're looking at. Well, this guy sat for 6 hours. He threw $1,000 down on the table, and he's been doing $500 a hand, as opposed to, let's say, well, if you're there alone and you're only there for an hour because it's going a heck of a lot faster. You can see where I'm saying, where if you're at that table game for a lot longer, you're going to get a heck of a lot more comps. So for slot machines, you want to see the casino empty. For the table games, you want to see it just bustling, extremely busy, shoulder to shoulder. I know that a lot of people don't like that, but a lot of people do like that too. They like the energy from a lot of people, especially the roulette table. Me and my wife do hit the roulette table often, and we like a bustling table. We like people we're all feeding off one another. The dealers getting into it a little bit. Even the pit bosses tend to come over and jive with you guys. It's it's really good juju, man, and it's just fun overall. And again, you're there longer because there's more people, there's more to look after. The betting takes longer, and it's all about being there for a longer amount of time for that formula. And my last one, number 20, never play for comps. There's your best piece of advice you can get, apart from getting a rewards card. Let's do an example here off the top of my head. Let's say your nightly rate is $200 and you want to spend 3 nights. Okay, so you got your $600 that you have to pay for your nightly fee plus resort fee. Let's say that's another $40. So you're now $720 in, plus taxes. Let's say you're $800 in. Okay, so for your 3 nights, you can pay $800, or you can go by this formula to try and get it comped. You're going to lose thousands of dollars to get. You don't have to lose, just coin in amount. But based on the payback percentages and the casino holds, you are going to lose money. So it would be just a heck of a lot cheaper to pay the $800 than it would be to try and get the comped. Okay, just that's how it is overall. It's way better to pay for the rooms, pay the resort fees, pay for your freaking meals, pay for all that stuff, rather than trying to get it comped. However, if you know you're going to gamble anyway, get whatever the hell they can throw at you and ask for it, and make sure that you get as possibly much as you can for your play. Don't leave the casino until, same thing at the D. When we checked out at the D on our last trip, I went to my host and I said, I want to know how much I can go into that gift shop and take out of there. Because if you don't ask, they won't tell you. They want to keep as much as they can. She said, okay, well, based on your play here, and she was looking at it, you can go take out $350 out of the souvenir shop. I'm like, really? Well, holy shit, it's a good thing I came to ask, because I would have walked out of here without that stuff. What did I do with my money? I bought souvenirs for people. I bought Las Vegas Golden Knights hoodie. I bought my wife a Las Vegas Golden Knights beautiful, licensed shirt. Beverages for the next hotel stay, so I don't have to worry about getting comped that over there. So we bought drinks, stuff like that. $350 worth. Holy crap. And again, If I didn't ask, I wouldn't know, right? So yeah, just never play for the comps, guys. It's a silly thing to do, especially if you're not a gambler. If you're not a gambler and you're on the internet and you're like, well, I wonder how I can get these comps. Well, obviously the answer is to play and gamble. There's no other way in Vegas to get comps unless you're gambling. And if you gamble, let's say for the $800, you're going to have to put, well, if you look at the theoretical formula, you're going to have to put a lot of coin in to get that amount of money. And like I said, it would be more feasible for you to just pay the fees up front. So there you go, guys. A full, thorough video here. I'm pretty sure I've been going on for about 40 minutes here, maybe longer. I don't know. We'll see what it is in editing. But if you have any more questions or concerns, I want to hear about them in the comments below. I feel like I've touched quite a bit on the comp system and how you can get the most out of your stay, how to get the comps, how to establish that relationship with a casino, and just how to be a smarter gambler to get the most out of the comp system. So again, if you have something to add, put them below. Let other people read those suggestions and the tips and your experiences. We all love hearing your experiences. Again, subscribe, like, click that little notification bell, and thank you so much for watching this long-winded video. I hope it come, to some use to you. We will see you in the next Spinning in Vegas tip videos, including some more slot play coming in the near future. So take care out there.